What's the coldest thing you've ever said to shut down your toxic parent? My dad loved guilt tripping me about money every time I wanted anything. New shoes for school, supplies for art class, even basic necessities became lectures about his sacrificial parenting. Must be nice being so entitled, he'd say with that martyred expression. When I was your age, I wore the same pair of sneakers for 3 years because my parents couldn't afford new ones. You kids today expect everything handed to you. This went on for years. Every request was dismissed because I didn't understand financial struggle like he did. Wanted to join the debate team? Well, I never had time for extracurriculars because I was working to help my family pay rent. Asked for a car for my 17th birthday? Lucky you having parents who can afford luxuries. I walked everywhere until I was 25. The stories got more dramatic over time. He claimed he worked in coal mines as a teenager, ate nothing but rice and beans for months, and single-handedly kept his family from bankruptcy. According to him, I was spoiled and ungrateful for everything he sacrificed to give me. Senior year, I got accepted to Northwestern with partial scholarships. When I told him about the remaining tuition costs, instead of celebrating, he shook his head disapprovingly. $18,000 a year? That's more than my family made in 2 years when I was growing up. Some of us know the value of money. Maybe you should go to community college first and learn some humility. That comment hurt more than usual. I'd been working at Target since sophomore year, saving every penny while maintaining a 3.8 GPA. I was exhausted, stressed, and apparently still too privileged for his respect. That's when my Aunt Sarah pulled me aside after Sunday dinner. Honey, I need to tell you something about your father's childhood, she said quietly. She led me to her home office and opened her laptop to old Facebook photos. Your dad's family owned 3 successful restaurants when he was growing up. I have all these old pictures because I helped digitize them for your grandmother. I was shocked. Aunt Sarah showed me album after album of evidence. My dad at expensive private schools in designer uniforms, vacation pictures from trips to Disney World, Europe, and ski resorts I never knew about, photos of him getting a brand new Mustang convertible for his 16th birthday, and bank statements showing his college fund had over $100,000. Coal mines? Aunt Sarah laughed bitterly. He worked one summer at his uncle's restaurant hostessing tables because he was bored. Your grandmother paid him $20 an hour, which was incredible money in 1985. He quit after 6 weeks saying customer service was bad. There were more photos. Dad at expensive restaurants, shopping sprees at high-end stores, even pictures of him getting professional ski lessons in Aspen while his supposed struggling family lived in their mansion. He never walked anywhere, Aunt Sarah continued. Your grandfather bought him a BMW when he was 17 because he said public transportation was embarrassing, and those worn-out shoes? I have receipts for over $500 worth of designer sneakers your grandmother bought him just his senior year. The next week, Dad started his usual guilt trip routine at dinner. Mom was there this time, along with my younger sister. He was complaining about my college expenses and how I didn't appreciate his financial sacrifices. You know, he said, cutting into his expensive steak. When I was working in those coal mines at 16, I would have given anything for the opportunities you're just throwing away. But some of us didn't have that luxury. I set down my fork and looked him straight in the eyes. Dad, Aunt Sarah showed me Grandpa's photo albums. His face went completely white. The confidence drained out of his voice immediately. Weird how you managed to work in coal mines while still attending that $30,000 a year private prep school. He started stammering. That's different. You don't understand the situation. You lived in a mansion until you were 24. I continued calmly. Grandpa bought you a BMW, paid for your college tuition, and gave you a trust fund for your business. I've been working minimum wage just to afford my own gas money. My mom looked stunned. My sister's mouth was hanging open. If anyone at this table knows about real financial struggle, it's definitely not the person who got a 6-figure inheritance and still complains about buying school supplies. The room went dead silent. Dad's fork clattered onto his plate. He never played the poor childhood victim card again. In fact, he barely mentioned money at all for months. But honestly, the silence was golden. Sometimes the truth hits harder than any argument ever could. He finally started contributing to my college fund without the guilt trips, probably because he realized how ridiculous his act had become. Last month, wait,